WCW Nitro versus WWF Raw is war.
The date is March 31st, 1997. Starting off with WCW,
But they don't know who we are yet, though.
what's your name?
I'm Spencer.
And I'm JD.
And this is The Heel Turn.
Fuck me. So... First off, we're gonna start with WCW. We're in Roanoke, Virginia.
You know it's Roanoke because of the Confederate flag signs.
No, that's a little bit too north for my taste. What do you know? Anyway, start things off. We got Lex and the Giant versus Roadblock and
Rick Fuller.
Rick Fuller. I thought it was Rick Fowler. Whatever. Rick. Good old Rick. So this is your typical squash match, for the most part. We start off with the Giant and Rick Fuller in with a quick tag immediately to Lex.
Who's got no cast.
Who's got no cast.
He's all healed up.
He's castless. Can't cast this guy. He's been blacklisted. Anyway, he's getting fucked up though. He might want to put the cast back on because the entire time he's just getting smoked. He makes a last-ditch effort to call in Giant. Giant comes in with a double clothesline.
Yeah.
And I believe a chokeslam, right?
He does the choke slam. Lex does after a second heave.
Oh, dude. Tell it.
He picks him up from the torch rack, puts him back down. He tries again. This one still didn't look pretty, but he got him up.
Oh, did you notice he was pulling his hair out one side?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's pulling his hair and the other's like, bitch!
That was payment for the potato.
Why did you fuck that up? Which is hilarious. We give him 3 count at that point. And then Harlem Heat comes out and attacks Lex and the Giant. I don't know why immediately they came out to attack them.
Well, because they're... what are they doing at the...
They are... they're having a match for the what's it called? The tag belt. But,
okay.
But at the same time, the issue here is that, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Wasn't there a scene where they got into the ring together to cover each other?
Yeah.
After being attacked by the NWO? Way to make enemies out of this shit. It's so inconsistent.
Yeah, Booker, they interview him real quick afterwards. Booker T says that we take what we want. Ooh. Waiting for that one next week. And then, can you dig it? And Stevie Ray says he wants to get respect, and he wants Giant personally. And then Sherry says they're going to divide and conquer.
In a dark room.
Yeah.
With a bed, preferably.
Yeah.
A little bit of lube. Anyway, we go up to the next match here. Women's match. This is very interesting. WCW's pushing more of women's wrestling. Always nice to see, especially when you consider WCW. I don't think has had a single women's match this entire time.
They've been better than WWF at it.
Yeah. We get Meiko Santamura versus Toshie, maybe. Uematsu.
And you said this was more strong style.
Well, I mean, they're hitting each other pretty hard.
Yeah.
All things considered.
This is more of like a kicks kind of match.
Yeah, they're not holding back when it comes to stomping or kicking.
And they do a really nasty looking shoulder arm breaker.
Yeah.
It looks bad. I'm sure they know how to do it right, but
yeah, they probably know how to do it right.
It looks bad.
Considering both are Japanese, it's safe to assume they might have come from either New Japan or just All Japan.
Gotcha. Toshi wins with a splash.
Yeah, it's a weird splash. I think it's called the Flying Squirrel Splash.
Did you just completely make that up?
No, because I'm thinking about it, and there are flying squirrels that it's like ninjas.
So you're thinking about it from a logical animal perspective?
It's folklore. So like ninjas would fly on these cloths, but they would have their hands back like that.
Oh.
And their legs would have the what's called tied on it.
So that gives them the whole yeah.
So, but I believe it was reminiscent of flying squirrels. We're just gonna call it that. Flying squirrel splash for the win.
I mean, or the other option is the frog splash. So I guess you're not far off.
There's a third option. The money shot.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. Anyway, we go over to our next match. We got Psychosis versus Villano 4. This is the sequel to last year's pay-per-view. Blockbuster. Summer blockbuster.
Villano's Revenge.
The Villano in.
Villano starts out with some mat work. And Psychosis obviously is more of a high flyer. He hits a cool top rope heel kick. That was pretty neat. He had him like crouched on the thing.
Yeah. He's like, let me follow it up.
But we cut to the NWO. There's some strife going on. And M Wall Street is upset. And if anybody gave two shits about M Wall Street, they're going to be real sad in a little bit.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Real sad. Crying Wall Street.
Tears. Yeah. Money just falling
Money.
I could use this.
Keep me crying, dog. Going back to the match, we got Sai with a super kick to a guillotine drop, which is him jumping off the turnbuckle for the leg drop. We got a Trez count. Has, yeah. And then
very good.
A plus. Psychosis takes the win at that point.
Ric Flair comes out in the, I don't think we have a badge, but weirdest segment of the night. Ric Flair discusses Roddy Piper. He basically just mentions Roddy Piper, and then Roddy Piper comes out.
Triggered. Roddy Piper comes to the stage.
If you ever wondered how fake wrestling was,
Play my shit. Play my shit. I'm going out there.
There you go. They banter for a little bit. They seem like they're old friends. Rick is glad that Piper could humble himself, calling him like a Hollywood guy, because he was in what do you call it?
WWF?
No, They Live. I don't know when They Live happened, but
oh, that was after, I think, when he left WWF. So yeah, this was post. Yeah,
slightly post.
He was in something else too, but yeah, They Live was his most, which is actually, from what I heard, a pretty good movie.
It is a good movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I'm a John Carpenter guy, so
and surprisingly to cast.
Yeah,
sure.
There's a scene in They Live where he actually is wrestling in the street, and it is the funniest scene ever.
Like bad?
No, it's good, but it's just like they have, you know how like in movies, like if you have a singer, they have to sing in a scene.
Yeah, okay.
It was that, but it's wrestling.
Great.
You have to see it.
How do we get this guy wrestling? I got a couple ideas. Good shit.
Roddy, but he questions why Roddy can't be found in the bars. He also says Roddy is not the best wrestler. Yada yada yada. They grab a prostitute and go party.
Pretty much.
Beef squash.
They try and go out opposite directions, and she's like, "Hey, boys, there's not enough of me to go around. I'm fucking one of you geriatrics tonight. The other is jerking off to have powder come out of their dicks." Anyway, it's probably going to be Ric Flair that ends up with the pussy.
It always is.
Yeah, woo! So anyway, we jump over, by the way, not forget, we jump over to La Parka versus Ayukea. Now, this isn't the La Parka that we knew and loved last week.
He's so inconsistent.
He's so inconsistent, but I think it's his partners. Ayukea, he probably came up to him, bro, I got a great idea for this match. It's going to be great. We could play off each other. And Ayukea's probably like, no, dude, I don't want to do that. Can you just go back there, and then we'll pick it up from there?
For those that can't see, he's doing the hand motion the entire time.
I'm still eating, okay? No.
Prince IK is really trying to get that over. Yeah. I think he's selling molds of his hand out there. Yeah. Instead of other people doing t-shirts, he's just doing molds of his hand.
Yeah, hey, you like it?
This is important.
Yeah, these are my Ayukeas. To start off the match, really, we get an Irish whip. Well, I mean, the match really is just a quick back and forth, but we get a weird Irish whip to a botch.
Yes.
La Parka lands on Ayukea, who missed his spot. Essentially, Ayukea whips La Parka into the turnbuckle. He's supposed to backflip off the turnbuckle at that point. Ayukea is supposed to run underneath to be like, I was going for you, but, you backflipped. But I don't know what happened. He missed his time. Well, obviously missed his timing.
Yeah. And
he goes for the run-in way too late. Lands right on top of him, or La Parka does. And Ayukea is starting to look real green again.
It's showing. It's green showing.
And he's got a foot mark on him, too.
They battle outside. The story of this match is like chair spots for some reason. He sits him on a chair. He being La Parka sits Prince Ayukea on a chair. And then jumps over the thing on him, over the apron, whatever. Takes him out. Okay. Ayukea is wandering around out there, and Prince Ayukea, or La Parka, sets up a chair in front of Prince Ayukea's face, but still on the apron, being held by the ropes. But it slips, so Prince Ayukea has to put it back up only to get it kicked into his face. No DQ for that.
No DQ.
Okay.
Now, we don't know if this might be a stipulation that might have changed.
Well, usually they kind of announce, hey, this is no disqualification, anything goes, folks.
Yeah, well, it's a, what's it called?
TV championship.
It's a TV championship. Maybe.
There was a disqualification last Monday.
For what?
For the TV championship when he's fighting Macho Man Randy Savage.
He used something. He used... No,
the NWO...
They interfered.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe there's like, hey, you can use weapons, but just don't interfere.
Okay.
I mean, come on. Is it really a crime to not to be that specific? Let them fuck each other up.
Parker then on his back tries to use the chair when Prince does a splash onto him, but it doesn't work, and Prince just hits him harder with the chair.
You know, they mentioned that. They're like, oh, you can't do that to Iaka's body. It'll have no effect on him. Thanks.
Immune to chair shots.
Immune to chair shots to the stomach, anyway.
Yeah, specifically to the abs.
Yeah, the face. Ooh. The abs. I'm safe.
Yeah.
Get a 3 count at that point. Iaka is the winner. Retains his title. For how much longer? I've never heard of this guy in my younger years.
Well, he's going to get Steven Regal at the pay-per-view. So we'll see next week.
We shall see.
Who comes out now and calls Ray a dwarf. And calls him Dopey the Dwarf.
He calls him a freak. Freak!
It's one of his freaks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then we get babyface Chris Jericho coming out to face Regal in just a normal match. Very weird normal match because we start the match off with. I mean, for the most part, they're very. You always get these sort of matches with Chris Jericho where he's just very. All right, Regal too. We're just gonna grapple. We're gonna grapple. We're gonna grapple. We're gonna grapple, and then. Immediately someone drops a clothesline, someone drops a drop kick, and then you start to get into just your traditional wrestling that most people are the general public is expecting at that point. And that's kind of what happens here. We get a clothesline off into a spinning back kick at that point, leading into... I mean, there's not really too much else going on here. This is a quick match, all things considered, with both wrestlers. You'd expect something longer. Yeah,
if this were Raw, they would do a longer match. I think WCW more saves for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, for the most part. You get some interesting spots. You get the typical Chris Jericho where he bounces or springboards off to do a drop kick towards someone who's on the outside the ring.
Yeah.
On the ropes, and then you get a roll up.
Yeah, Jericho went to the roll up, but surprised us. We thought, well, I mean,
came out of fucking nowhere.
Regal's your guy for the weekend, so
yeah, so
maybe he should go over, but no, whatever.
I'm surprised. He went under.
I like
3
Jericho.
seconds. Yeah, we all like Jericho. Yeah. Upset, Regal starts to attack Chris Jericho.
Beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, post bell, he's just stomping on his ass and he's hitting him in all these different uncomfortable. He had him in a hold, didn't he?
Yeah, the Regal stretch.
He was stretching him out. Make sure he's practicing his yoga and shit. And then, for some fucking stupid reason, Renegade shows up.
He forgot his cue. He knew he had to get to the ring.
Do you think that's what it was?
No. I'm being a little bit facetious, but I also have no idea what else it could have been.
I was about to say, I was like, you've seen more than I have.
Because he runs to the ring, and then it's like, oh, what am I supposed to... I don't know. Like, I see a guy getting beaten up, and I'm here... And
I'm a wrestler.
And that guy, there's a guy hurting another guy. The match is over. I don't know why I'm here. I'm gonna go back out of the ring, and then he leaves.
Yes.
And then the other 2 people come in.
Joe Gomez comes in. Actually goes.
Or three guys. Yeah.
I'm a wrestler. He's a wrestler. I can do something.
Tries to break it up.
Gets fucked up instead. Yeah. And then. Who else comes out? Billy Kidman.
A young Billy Kidman.
And is like, I'm going to stop this. And I think he gets clotheslined outside the ring or something to that effect. Or just tossed out or whatever. And then Lane?
Swinging Lane.
Yeah.
Gets kicked in the balls.
Yeah.
Whew.
Pretty painful.
Bummer.
He's only got 1 lane now. You hear me?
Speaking of lanes, I heard Wall Street's got a lot of lanes. But not a lot of love for the NWO.
This guy.
Because he is out. He literally leaves. He doesn't get thrown out or anything. He just leaves angrily.
Yeah, you see a segment. They don't even give him 10 seconds. It's him backstage as he's walking out. The camera's looking at him, and then he's just shaking his head, and then he just goes out the door.
Is it really strife if the person that nobody cares about leaving leaves?
No, I hope he left the company too. I don't like you.
Didn't he get beat up the other day and nobody cared?
Yeah.
Like in the backstage or something?
That's probably why he's upset.
Like nobody cares?
What the fuck, you guys?
What am I doing here?
Yeah, I really wish it was the fire escape. And then he set the alarm off.
Yeah.
Fucking shit.
Fucked us, Joe.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We get over to our next match here. We got another women's match. We've got Debbie Combs coming out like a honeycomb versus Akira Hokuto, who is embracing her Japanese background. Traditional looking garb as she's coming out, but she's backed by Sonny Ono, who's working double time.
Yeah, I didn't like her in this match. I didn't like anybody in this match.
I didn't like her in the previous.
I really didn't like Debbie Combs. I don't know what fabulous moolah like wannabe 80s gimmick she was trying to play.
She came out pure gold, man.
Pure gold, fat. Like what is going on with her?
You know why? Goldeneye. Copyright! We didn't say that. Keep going.
Yeah, all I can say is it ended with a German suplex and a bridge to win.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird drops. What's funny is, was this the one? I think Hokuto had her up like this, and then fell back on herself. And then apparently that was supposed to hurt Debbie, who was on top of her. Yeah. And I was just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Yeah, German suplex to bridge. It was a weird match. Sonny Ono interfered a little bit and hit him with the ropes.
The guillotine, yeah.
Yeah. And then outside of that, we get Medusa, who probably is the only women's wrestler that looks at home.
Yeah.
Like, she looks really comfortable. She's like, what's up, y'all motherfuckers? And then she's getting ready to hype up the pay-per-view. And then right as she's getting ready to, Hokuto goes, bitch, I hate blondes. And immediately starts attacking her, kicks her out of her heels, which is just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
And then from there it goes into just a little bit of a brawl, even
pull apart.
Yeah. They get pulled apart. Then she jumps on the people that were pulling her apart. Yeah. Which, okay, not trying to be racist here, which usually precedes by a racist comment, but Medusa is taller than all of the people that pulled apart Hokuto and Hokuto. So when she jumped on all of them, I thought she was going to collapse on people. She's just like, fuck it! And then reached for them.
I liked the pull apart. I liked the stuff after the match, but this was the worst match to me. Gets the badge.
What's also funny is Bobby Heenan has to comment, these are women, they know how to fight. You bet they do.
Opposed to the men that don't, that make up 99%.
I don't know where he was going with that, but he had to say it. Whatever. We get over to our next match.
Well, we get a Sting retrospective.
Oh, fuck that.
Just gonna mention that.
I literally looked at you and I was like, I'm not writing this down.
I'll do it. I didn't
give two shits. Sting used to be my favorite when I was one of my favorites growing up as a kid, but we all
maybe by the end of '97 he'll be back in your good graces.
No. By the end of '97, you know who else shows up. And that was my favorite because I just loved his killing power. We'll get there.
We get the amazing French Canadians with Colonel Parker.
Don't forget their names.
Versus Jeff Jarrett and Mongo. We all love them.
Yeah, man.
They start out with the singing as always, and then it becomes Mongo versus, I think
Snake.
It's Solid Snake.
Say it. Colonel, can you hear me?
Colonel Parker.
Pretty much.
He starts off strong. They tag in Jeff Jarrett. He gets double teamed. Mongo gets the hot tag. I wrote tab, but it's definitely tag.
Oh, and he hit that drop kick too. That really good drop kick.
Yeah, Mongo's hitting some sweet drop kicks. He's learning moves one by one as the weeks progress.
It's like that reality TV show, the wrestling reality TV show. We're going to teach you the side, or the body slam. We're going to teach you how to punch somebody. We're going to teach you how to pin. He's slowly but surely, every week, he's getting a new move to his repertoire. Whether he uses it is a different story.
That's true. Mongo has the slowest hot tag ever, where he's the hot tag guy, and he goes in, and he like clotheslines people, but they kind of get up. He has to wait for him. Clotheslines him, hits the little leg thingy.
Check his watch.
He's waiting I think he's waiting also because there's stuff going on the outside of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to wait for that to happen. She's got the Public Enemy. That's what PE is. I was wondering what PE was. Public Enemy runs in and grabs the briefcase, which there's a bit of a tussle out there with Jeff Jarrett and them.
Yeah, they pull from Deborah. Yeah.
And then Colonel Parker steals the briefcase. They call it the Halliburton. And gives it to one of the French Canadians. Do you know their names? I don't know their names.
They still haven't named them yet.
I don't think it was Snake. It might have been Snake.
It might have been right.
Who then hits Mongo in the back, and that's important. It's Mongo in the back with it, and then they get the pin on him, and it's over.
Yeah.
They promo afterwards. Deborah says that this is getting too dangerous. She's broken not one, but 2 nails protecting them. And then Public Enemy, one of them has bad breath and one of them has head lice, is what she says.
Yeah, the only weapon you have is bad breath. Powerful shit.
Mongo accuses Jeff Jarrett of hitting him in the back with the briefcase. We're back to this? Come on, guys. We're friends.
Yeah,
We're doing
he literally
so
goes, me!
Yeah.
You could see Jeff Jarrett's baby blues as he's so confused. Me!
Oh.
But yeah, Jeff, you did it. You were possessed, and then you hit him in the back. You should pay attention. Bitch. We got our next match here. We got Hugh Morris versus Chris Benoit. I can't believe this fucking match. Chris Brown. Chris Brown can't even get into the ring.
Chris Brown versus Rihanna.
Stomped. Yeah, woman is Rihanna. For being honest here. It could have. So can't even get into the match. Can't even get into the ring. Gets stomped up by Hugh Morris. And his first priority is, better take off my vest though.
Yeah.
Can you let me take off my vest? Okay.
Like mid beatdown.
Yeah, mid beatdown. Thanks, bro. Shit. And then he comes in pretty strong. You know how CB does it. C Breezy. He always comes in there aggressive.
Yeah.
Of course, that's just the way he works. What did I put? Oh yeah, and then I was like, this is too close together. Hugh Morris turns over, starts to begin his offense as well. But no one cares because Chris Brown hits a German suplex bridge for a 3 count out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that usually doesn't win, but maybe it was supposed to look like it was better because he was on maybe the second turnbuckle.
So the more and more I think about it, I think it's because they were behind on time.
Oh well, yeah, yes. That part, yes. Well, I meant more from like a match psychology perspective.
Oh no, fuck the match psychology. You know, WCW doesn't always hit match psychology. I think what happened was I'm being honest.
They're out of time.
I'm looking at some of the matches here, and I'm just like, which one could have lasted the longest? And I think it's Ric Flair talking.
Yeah.
That lasted the longest, because everything else was pretty quick. Except for Psychosis and Villano. That one was a little bit longer. And the Debbie Holmes and Akira Hokuto could have been a little bit longer than it should have been. So fuck it, we gotta wrap this shit up. So yeah, that match happened really fucking quick. And then we jump over to Kevin Sullivan and the Dungeon of Doom coming out. They beat on Chris Brown, just like they did fucking last week. It's starting to get old, just like what you said about Jeff Jarrett and Mongo. We're seeing a lot of the same shit play out again, and it's starting to get a little boring. And then we get the man, the kid, the boy, the nature boy coming out. Ric Flair's had as much as he can stand, and he can't stand no more. Comes into the match. It's so sad, because when you look at it, you got Dean, who's in better shape, and is in the prime of his career. Yeah. Can't even stand up. Rick comes out. I think they stomped on him, but he just said woo. the power of his woo knocked them away. Yeah. And he comes in strutting, hitting people with these weak ass fucking punches, these shuffle punches of his. But they're all selling.
Low blowing everybody.
Low blowing everybody. To the point that even the ref, Anderson, goes, ooh, my balls! He saw someone else get low blowed. I think it was when he saw Conan getting low blowed. Which he geared up for, too. He's like, boom. It's just like, okay, dude, come on. He's just trying to protect the merchandise. That's all he's doing.
And Arn is out on the side. Obviously, he's retired, but out for now.
Yeah.
But he's retired.
Still nice to see him.
He's protecting, but he also doesn't beat up Sullivan as he walks away.
Yeah, he's like, get the fuck out of here. I gotta have surgery. You fucking jumped me. No, kayfabe, but you jumped me. Get the fuck out of here. And then Kevin Sullivan has the nerve to say some shit to him. I don't know what he said, but he was like pissed off when he said it. And I was like, bitch. It's always nice to see Arn Anderson, our favorite Wisconsin. For him. We didn't get to see our favorite divorcee, but he'll be there next week. It's okay. And then we get Chris Benoit, who cuts a promo, and he's like, "This is your last chance. I'm done. I'm sick of you, Kevin Sullivan. This is the new age of wrestling.
I feel sorry for you.
I feel sorry for you, because I am officially banging your wife in reality. And furthermore,
he says you brought woman into it, and then you brought Ben into it. What is that?
I think it might be one of his kids.
One of his kids? What's the Wikipedia?
Ben Kenobi, yeah. And then from there, he says that he respects Dean. And that's it. But this was a victory for me, not the Four Horsemen. I mean, yes, the Four Horsemen interfered after you won.
No, he meant his victory against Dean Malenko will be for himself, not for the Four Horsemen.
Okay. And the announcers try to make it seem like it was worse. Like, Tony Schiavone's like, what does that mean?
What do you mean?
It's like, bitch, it means when he wins, it's going to prove that he's the better wrestler between them two. Like, it actually matters between them two. It's different from somebody else.
Next up, we get Lance Ringo versus DDP.
Fuck this match.
Lance holds up those pictures of DDP's wife and Playboy with the NWO thing on it.
You know it's the same photo, or it's the same thing. They can only get one.
They get a little squash going on. DDP hits the diamond cutter. He hits TKO, but, you know, anything that ends with him going like this is a diamond cutter. DDP gets to do a promo. He's proud of his wife's pictures. And if Savage... Stupid thing. If Savage wants to get into his real world, DDP's gonna snap into his.
Whoa, brother man. Whoa, brother man, brother. And then we skip over to Macho Man, who's with Miss Elizabeth, my wife, and they're up in the crowd.
My wife.
They're up in the crowd, and he's pretty much saying, "Someone finally told me your name.
Yeah.
You must be
DDP.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Page. Stone Page Steve Austin. He calls DDP a gemologist because of the name.
Because of the diamonds.
It's still stupid. And then he's like, yeah, I guess we'll have to wrestle at that pay-per-view then. That's how Macho talks. DDP responds, well, brother, hello, Macho Man. Right back in the voice, and he goes, make sure you bring Liz. I'll bring my girl, because if I'm gonna bring my lady, you better bring the tramp. And then,
he called a girl a tramp.
Bars. And then they left. And then we jump over, we got the Steiners versus High Voltage!
I like High Voltage.
They're electrifying.
They're good placeholders. They don't have any character, but they can do moves. Yeah, Scott and...
Step above jobbers.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. Scott and Rick dominate pretty much this whole match, except for at one point Rick hits his ear on the post. They're just emphasizing that
his ear.
Yeah.
I would bite his ear. I'd rip his ear. Heenan is showing his murder characteristics. I'd rip his ear off with a knife and then just stab it in there and wiggle it around. You're like, oh God, calm down, Heenan.
Yeah, he's jerking off the whole time.
With a knife in his hand. Anyway.
One of them, I think it was... I don't care. Chaos, Rage, who cares? Did his springboard front flip, which I love, but missed it like 1,000 miles. So, whatever. But he did it. That's cool.
He was in a different ring when that was done.
That's cool for me. Scott hits what's called the Steiner Screwdriver Suplex, which is like a suplex into a pile driver. It's horrifying.
It wasn't a jumping pile driver?
I think so, yeah. It was horrifying. I hope that's the last time I see that.
Fucking frightening, man. Hate seeing that shit. Anyway, he gets the 3 count out of it.
The NWO clears out the commentary. This is what they used to do. They haven't really done this in a while.
Haven't in a minute.
Now you're saying this is a shoot.
Yes. So what happens is there's a lot of dialogue that's going on about this, where Kevin Nash and Six come to the table, and Six doesn't say shit.
Six is like really trying to act like he's like a snarky, snubby guy, but he's doing a really poor job of it.
Shit's not working. He's trying to replace Scott Hall, but he can't. Speaking of Scott Hall is unavailable because he's doing stuff that's more important than wrestling. Rehab. He's in rehab at this point. So for alcohol, for his alcohol benders and whatnot, and I'm sure other things. But he's just trying to get off, man. He's just trying to kick it. Which he'll make his appearance eventually, and we'll see him again. It'll be nice, and then he'll and then throw one of his patented. It's gonna say Scott Hall on it. Yeah. Patented toothpicks at somebody, just covered in his spit.
But Kevin Nash is very upset at. It sounds like Hogan and
Roddy Piper and Ric Flair actually. Backstage apparently. The gripes seem to come from the fact of he's upset that they're taking up all this time. There's not enough time for the wrestlers to do the thing. He elaborates on this more, I believe, actually next week.
Can't wait for that.
Or at the pay-per-view, they get on the mic and he returns fire the following week. But he's just as pissed off as he is then as he is now, and he takes some pretty low blows. We'll get there. But for the most part, just understand Kevin Nash, the human, is upset with WCW.
He makes a little call out to Raw, too.
Yeah, he says, if you're in Chicago, what do you say? If you're in Chicago, you better listen to this, too. Or
says, you people in Chicago better take heed or something.
Yeah,
something like
pay
that.
Attention, too, or some shit like that.
Which is where?
And then he goes right back at you, HBK, immediately after.
I wonder if they're going to keep doing that every week. I love that.
Yeah, fuck it. They're blending the shows in together.
Speaking of Raw,
it's in Chicago.
Raw's in Chicago. Boop boop. Or where? And your eye.
It's metal. You don't need it. Talk about explosions.
We get Owen Hart versus British Bulldog for the European Championship. These guys had a doozy of a match.
Can I say that this wasn't a doozy of a match compared to what I expected?
Compared to that, it wasn't as good, but this one was still good. Mm-hmm. It was my best match of the night.
Yeah. Before the match starts, we got Owen coming in before Bulldog's in, I should say. And then he baseball slides in to Bulldog. They're working outside the ring, hits him with an Irish whip to the stairs. The match hasn't even actually officially started yet until Owen is actually hitting a crossbody on Bulldog, and they're in the ring at that point. I remember specifically, he's like, ging, ging, and then he lands on.
Could be the shortest match ever.
Yeah. He's like, let's get the show. Hits a low blow on Bulldog at that point.
Not a disqualification.
I think it was in full view of the ref, too. You're like, what the fuck are they doing? And then Bulldog starts to hulk up at that point and mount his offense.
Yeah. He fights off the sharpshooter. Bulldog has a bloody nose at this point.
Yeah.
And Bulldog counters a knee thing. He gets hit with that knee thing early and then counters it next, which is kind of cool. It shows a couple, like, understanding what Owen's going to do.
Yeah.
Owen hits a pile driver. Eventually, Bulldog breaks the sleeper hold. You know, he raises his arm.
Yeah.
And then hits his own sharpshooter, which Owen counters, because Owen knows the sharpshooter better than anyone, except for maybe Bret Hart. First, Bulldog catches Owen outside when he's trying to do a crossbody.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Dominates. It's a suplex on the steel ramp. And then British Bulldog accidentally hits the ref during an Irish whip thing.
Yeah, because he gets Irish whip. Owen hops over him, and then he hits right into the ref, who, refs are made out of paper, so he disappears like Thanos snap.
Which really is accurate, because he never shows up pretty much ever until when Bret Hart shows up. And stops Bulldog from using a chair that Owen brought in.
Yep. Pins
him to the mat. After a while of them being like, no more fighting, just lay off each other, get off. Bret Hart shoots a promo about family values and how America has none.
And how the Hart family are haters.
Yes.
I realize we're just a bunch of haters.
They need to stop fighting each other. And Owen is crying.
Well, let's point out, the fact that Owen's crying is because Bret finally hit him with those 3 words that he's been waiting for all this time but never knew it. I love you.
Oh.
And then immediately Owen his defense is shattered. His love for his brother restored, even after all these years, even after a WrestleMania match, restored.
Yeah.
And he goes, I love you too, man. And then he's just sort of crying because he's just had enough of these damned Americans.
And the 3 of them hug, and the scene's over.
Yeah, and there's actually, I'm surprised you didn't mention it, but there's a part where they hug, and then Bret actually looks back at the rest of the people, and he's like pissed off at everybody else. He's like, you guys are disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's good acting right there.
I love that look.
Yeah, man, he killed it.
Ends in no contest.
No contest. The first of the year, I believe. That's not a DQ or anything. Ref just goes, wait. We're joking about it. He wakes up 3 matches later. What? His eyes are going. I'm supposed to ref 3 other matches. Yeah. Oh man. Next match we get some shit.
Sonny comes out. That's cool.
Oh, Sonny. Yeah. Hey, nice to see you. Oh. Yeah, your day will come. Anyway, we get El Mosco versus Supernova. El Mosco's in the green, Supernova's in the blue.
Yeah. Sonny speaks Spanish in this match. This was a match with luchadors of varying skill. Some moves hit, some moves don't. This could have been the worst match, but I don't know. Some of the stuff was alright. He won with do you know who won? Supernova won?
El Mosco.
El Mosco won with like the whole split-legged whatever, or not even split-legged, where you bounce off the ropes but do a moonsault. I call it springboard, I guess, but it's not really a springboard.
It's sort of a springboard.
And then Sonny holds King, because King is heartbroken over the heart.
He's been crying the entire match, or the entire night. Next setup, we got Legion of Doom. I don't know what to say about this.
They talk about Owen and British Bulldog. They say, don't insult the integrity of the American people. We have family values. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, should we say it as a timestamp?
If you want.
Unconfirmed by anything else other than we just saw it on Google. Kobe Bryant died of a helicopter crash. Anyway, timestamp. That's the timestamp. Anyway, he says something about dumplings. He wants British Bulldog to turn him into dumplings and then eat them. Something like that.
Kind of a gross analogy.
And Owen has a sticky body. He's going to beat up his sticky body.
His sticky body, punch his sticky phlegm out of his sticky face, because he's sticky. Sticky to the icky.
Yeah. He's a weird promo guy.
He really is. He's the one that's dead, right?
No, I think he's alive.
No, I think Hawk is the one that's alive.
I don't think so. Anyway.
Either way, we'll get to it.
You tell us in the comments, because I don't want to look it up.
You tell us who's the liar.
Yeah, who's lying here.
We get our next match. Jesse James versus Johnny McJob.
Yeah, I never caught his name.
No name announced. And that's something that we mentioned that WCW is better at.
Yeah.
They at least get their jobbers' names, or at least we'll mention it, or it'll be in like some fucking...
on the bottom, just this guy is...
Some secret that's like you gotta dig three scoops deep and 40 paces to the left and 3 paces to the right, and then you'll find the name of the jobber. Not in WWF. They just don't fucking care. They're like, you don't even have a super move. You're going to start, you're already going to be in the ring.
Do you know that Edge and Christian once jobbed for the Giant?
Can't say I'm surprised.
Way back in the day, obviously.
We might have passed that day.
We did. Rhodey went to the pump handle slam. Honky Tonk wants Rhodey to be the next Honky Tonk Man. Wants to paint his hair, give him sideburns, and offers him his amazingly famous guitar.
Yeah, that makes history.
It should be in glass in the Hall of Fame. His heirloom.
His hairline. Oh, I'm sorry.
Rhodey takes it, he's like, wow, this is amazing, and then smashes it on the ground and says it's a little out of tune.
And then goes to the crowd, yeah!
Yeah!
And fucking leaves.
Alright!
That's what we want to see. Then we get Nation of Domination versus... Oh, I'm sorry. Nation of Domination, Savio Vega and Crash versus
Rob Bell and another jobber.
And Unknown. I've literally got nothing for this match except for Crush wrestles for once.
Yeah, Crush actually does some moves. I'm a sucker for when you do like a backbreaker but keep your hold on him. Then you get up and do it again. And then he went a step further than that and got up and like threw him over his back. I thought he was gonna go for a Samoan drop, which would have been cool in itself.
Yeah.
But he threw him over and didn't catch him, so he just fell.
He's just like, what?
I'm with it. I'm with that.
He's an aggressive man, he is.
And they won with that double team backbreaker where somebody jumps off the top rope.
Woo!
Boom. Neat.
Neat.
You get a Ken Shamrock recap. Hooray. We got him.
Then we go to a stupid fucking setup. Paul Bearer comes to the ring, talks about how he needs Undertaker. Needs him.
His soul.
Whatever. Undertaker is needed. For whatever reason. He arrives like 5 seconds later. No, I'm sorry. That's a little bit too nice. Arrives 10 minutes later. He was announced 5 seconds after being told he was needed, but 10 minutes later, finally arrives. I always think his music sounds like the Avengers theme. Anyway, he comes to the stage, give me a mic, and gets on and
then he started doing sound clips for Halo.
What do you mean?
Betrayal.
Holy shit. Bull true. Yeah.
Betrayal is something I can never forget.
Killer Manjaro. I love that one. Yeah.
But it's something I could forgive.
Yeah, he says could, and then he punches Paul Bearer. I said could. Take one of these. It's like Game Boy Advance wrestling. Just so punches him.
Did you ever get that desperate?
No.
I did.
I did with Lord of the Rings. The two towers on Game Boy Advance. It's not that bad. It wasn't that good.
I played WrestleMania 2000, the Game Boy version. And I played on my Super Nintendo thing. You put it in the slot.
Oh, fucking depressing.
It was very bad.
Yep, no, I'll just stick to Golden Sun. Anyway, so he chased him outside towards the front of the ring, and Paul Bearer's just trying to get out of there. And then something from the depths, even more of the depths than Undertaker.
Yeah.
Mankind comes out, and he's like working with some shit. He's trying to craft a Kamehameha.
Yeah.
And then Mankind sees him, grabs one of his hands, and he goes, ah, bah! And then hits him with a Hadoken right in his eyes. Undertaker sells that shit like fucking hotcakes.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just, ah! Ah!
He's like a rabid dog just like swinging around the room.
What the fuck? I guess he can't see, or his face just really hurts, or whatever the case is, or he's mildly sunburned. But he's just like, oh fucking, ooh, not a fan. His eyebrows are probably gone. That's why he covered his face up for the most time, because it did ignite very close to his face.
Yeah.
But it's fire paper. Magicians use it. It's not serious. You're not gonna fucking die. Whatever the case. And if Hulk Hogan can fuck it up, and only burn his eyebrows, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But Sid attacked Mankind, so they didn't get a chance to really hurt him. Undertaker.
Yeah, Sid comes out. What the fuck?
Did I miss something? Why is Sid mad at Mankind?
Yeah, me.
Did they have a match or something that went awry?
I think he might have interfered last week.
Okay. I totally forgot. Something could have happened. I just completely forgot.
Could have.
We'll have to watch the footage from last week.
Yeah.
If only there was a podcast that told us what happened beat by beat.
Check out our previous video. And like and subscribe.
And then Sid shoots a little promo saying he wants Mankind, but if Mankind plays with fire, he's gonna get burned. He's gonna burn in hell.
Yeah, if you do that shit again, you're gonna burn in hell.
But he's also like, Undertaker will burn you too, or Undertaker will beat you up good. Even though he's Sid, Psycho Sid,
who's not Undertaker. Get over to our next match. We got versus Goldberg.
I get what you did there.
Versus Goldust. Triple H is already in the ring, and then Goldust comes booking it out of there, grabs his wig and chucks it at Triple H. He's like, now time to start my offense.
Yeah.
And just starts wailing at him at that point. Oh man, I love that shit. Because he sold it. He's like, what the fuck is this? It's sweaty. Fucking throttled at that point. He's getting smoked.
Sidebar on commentary. King mentions the Hart Foundation
before they've been founded.
Well, I think they were something before, but yeah, they haven't really announced that they're like that again.
And Vince is like, what?
What?
You can't say that yet. Watch yourself, Jerry. You'll be out of job.
Jobless Jerry.
Stop it! Goldust is pretty aggressive, but he begins to slow down, and Triple H starts to build his momentum at that point and toss him pretty much out of the ring. At that point, hitting us with this patented bow, like a sir, of course. And then a weird thing happens. China
shows up.
China just shows up. She's standing there.
The ugliest face on the ramp.
I'm upset about this match.
Goldust hits the curtain call, but China comes in and kicks him in the ribs.
And apparently broke him.
Because you hear the Stone Cold enter?
Yeah, right? Yeah, so he apparently gets his ribs cracked or some shit, and then referees start coming in, pouring in. He's getting whooped. They start to back him up. He still fucks up Triple H, even with broken ribs, and knocks him out of the ring, and then is just like a hair from fighting China.
But he can't hit a woman.
I mean, it really doesn't matter at this point.
It's worth noting that Triple H and Pat Patterson go at it.
Oh yeah.
Classic Intercontinental Champion, Pat Patterson.
Yeah, and at first he gets pushed away and he's like, oh, come on, man. And then he goes to grab him again and he's like, oh, come on, man. And then he goes, no, Pat Matterson. Begins exchanging blows with Triple H, gets him into a corner. And then the only thing that saves him is good old China's forearm. That's 800 pounds of 9,000 pounds
testosterone,
15,000 pounds, right on the square of Pat Patterson's back. But he looks fine even when he's getting stomped. They zoom in on his face and he's just like, "I'm gonna be okay." Getting stomped. And he's like, "All right, whatever."
Next up, we get Stone Cold, who's doing a promo,
doing a good old fashioned.
He wants to make clear, never said I quit. He only passed out to the blood. Not the sharpshooter. He doesn't care if it's a good guy or a bad guy. He's going to be the same Stone Cold. He doesn't care. And Brett gets on and they start yelling at each other as they always do. They never get along, these two. And he's going to kill Brett.
All jokes aside, he's going to kill him.
Yeah. So something about his tombstone, and on his tombstone it'll say, "Here lies Bret Hart, the biggest piece of crap ever."
Yeah.
He died because Stone Cold killed him.
Yeah, he died because Stone Cold whooped his ass. At that point, which is great. And then we lead over to our Mon Evante. We get Bret Hart versus Rocky Balboa. We get a little bit, a quick A series of back and forth submission holds between the two. Typical, it's Bret Hart. We expect it's not really Rocky's thing. He might do it, but not nearly as long as Bret wants to do it. Bret's more of a storyteller in the sense of he likes to be like, I'm working your arm, so I'm going to keep working this one. I'm going to remember this body part. So then Rocky's got to be like, I'll remember your left arm, you remember my right arm, or my left leg, actually.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep playing, which is how the match goes for the most part.
This is a good match. Yeah, they're working the arms, like you said. Rocky gets some cheers. Bret's getting some cheers out of Rocky, but honestly, when Rocky really hits his crescendo, seems like there's a mixture there. Almost like a Roman Reigns-ish mixture.
Almost like people want him to die instead of Bret.
Wow.
Strange.
Rocky hits a couple moves. He hits a fisherman suplex, but he doesn't hook the leg when he does it.
Yeah.
So
You're not fishing.
I call foul on that one, Rocky. But it looked all right, but it wasn't a true fisherman suplex.
Don't knocky my Rocky. But
and then he hits the crossbody from across the ring,
literally from the other turnbuckle,
which Bret Hart has the wherewithal to roll over that. I always like that. And but Rocky still kicks out, although he more breaks the pin than kicks out. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's more like, which I guess is still good, but it just never, his shoulder never really leaves, but he breaks the pin, so I guess it's good.
Yeah.
And then Bret Hart decides he's done with this. He doesn't care about the winning anymore. Hits figure 4 on the post, gets disqualified, and then the Foundation and Stone Cold interfere, and Legion of Doom.
Those guys that are always in for the rush. They always come in, what a rush!
Yeah.
And they start, missing a lot of attacks, actually. Because all it is it's
just a testosterone thing.
Yeah, pretty much. And they go around the ring, and it looks like they're actually setting up for a spot, or at least, I think it was Hawk. It was setting up for a spot to jump on one of them.
Yeah.
But Bulldog goes straight up the ramp, and Owen and Bret go through the crowd, and then he's like, I missed my chance.
Yeah, even though they knocked the railing?
Yeah.
So really, Stone Cold could keep chasing him, but he doesn't because he's not supposed to.
He's like, I think he was like, shit, fuck, y'all broke that shit. Like, fuck me, man. And then at that point, we're pretty much at the tail end of the show anyway. So what point would it have mattered for him to chase him?
Yeah.
All right. Worst match. Because we always like to talk about negatives.
Yes. Negative man.
Negative man.
My worst match is that women's match. Debbie Combs versus Akira Aokuta. Something like that? Hokuto. Oh, that's an H. Can't read my own handwriting.
You say it every week. it's a real problem at this point.
Yeah.
I was born in the bad handwriting. I'm going to say my worst match, just to keep it different, is El Mosco versus Supernova.
That earns it, yeah.
I was not a big fan of this match. Primarily because there's nothing on the line, but more specifically, when you came from that La Parka match on WCW last week,
yeah.
you can see that the luchas, like, even though you're wearing masks and everything like that, luchadors can have a personality. There's nothing there.
WCW is the better lucha things, yeah. For sure. For sure.
I mean, they're trying to push women's wrestling, but it's not off to a good start. The only woman that looks like she can actually wrestle is Medusa. She's supposed to have a match eventually with, what's her name?
With the H?
No, not Hokuto. Well, Hokuto's next week. But I forget the other girl's name, the Road Warrior girl, though.
Oh, Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon. Supposed to wrestle her, and I think that's like the highlight of WCW women's wrestling, which sucks. So
yeah,
they have that going on. What's your best match?
Owen versus
Bulldog.
B. I just wrote BB every time. I'm trying to do your thing, and I'm not forgetting what their names are.
I'm not keeping up. I'm gonna say that too, but I also feel like WCW dropped the ball because they had a series of matches that could have actually been good. So they had
Chris Jericho.
No, I was actually gonna say Lex and the Giant versus Roadblock.
Really? You would think they could be a match of the night? Oh, he's playing jokes with me.
No, I was going to say, because Hugh Morris versus Chris Benoit could have been much better. I also think Regal versus Jericho would have been much better. I don't know what put the constraint on that, but that kind of sucks. I do think Owen and Bulldog just works out better.
They have such good chemistry. It's freakish.
Yeah, they're good to each other, and it works out when they're in the ring when they wrestle. Obviously, they have a close-knit relationship, so it works out too. But yeah, all that stuff is good.
Which shows better.
I would still say WCW. The only thing that saved it, really, was Nash, surprisingly. Because I like that he was pissed off. And it's going to continue for a little bit, too.
I'm going with Raw.
This is the first time we haven't agreed.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah.
I like the Nash stuff, too. But that almost seems like it's cheating to say that's why I like it more.
Shooting?
It's because it's like, it's such a small thing, and it's almost like, because none of the shows were that great. They weren't bad.
Dude,
I don't think either show were bad.
I mean, if we're being honest here, you have Owen Hart and Bulldog, which was a good match. Then you have El Mosco and Supernova, bad match. You have Lisa doing talking. You have Jesse James doing a bullshit-ass skit.
I liked it.
It was bullshit, because he brought his kid in there and goes, get the fuck out of there.
Oh yeah, what was up with that? We didn't mention that.
Nation of Domination. Paul Bearer.
I mean, something happened there. That was cool.
Dude, something happened on WCW. No,
oh my god, there were only like...
It's only like 3 or 4 matches.
4 matches,
Yeah.
But they were long.
Yeah, they're long, but at the same time, you've talked about this. Save it for the pay-per-view.
It's true.
There's some matches that we've already seen multiple times. We've got Triple H and Goldust. That was on the pay-per-view, last week? That was WrestleMania. Why are we seeing it again?
I just wish WCW would do more of their stuff have to do with the pay-per-view.
I agree.
They do too much of this, like, luchador stuff for luchador's sake.
They're trying to show them this is a place you can come.
But give them a story to do something cool.
Give them a lucha story?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? When Ray gets demasked, is that WCW?
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Oh, I don't think so.
Babyface Ray.
What did you think was the better show? Assuming you're going to watch it. Or just based off of what we said.
Which one do you think?
Well, you or you? First time I've ever seen a camera before. Let us know. I'm Spencer.
I'm JD.
And this is The Heel Turn.